Yeah. Hello everyone, this is Usma Jawwali and I'm from Pakistan. First of all, I want to tell about myself that I am basically a software engineer and a social media specialist, and I'm promoting remote work and freelancing all around the world. For that purpose, I am running an online freelancing school. The purpose of this school is to train people about the different in-demand technology skills and to educate them about remote work and flexible work. So today I have a very special guest, Alex. Thank you so much, Alex. Hi, how are you?
Thank you very much, Uzma, for inviting me. I'm really good. Thank you very much. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So, I have invited Alex to my podcast so that my audience and in my country or even all around the world, the people learn about the flexibility of remote work. And even some people still don't know what is remote work, what is freelancing. So, Alex is a co-founder and ambassador of Jobgether company, that is a remote company. So, Alex, I want you to introduce yourself to my audience and tell about your background. Where are you from, and what are you doing?
Yes, of course. Yeah, as you said, my name is Alex. I'm 38 years old. I'm French, but for the last 15 years, I've been living abroad. So I've lived for around 10 years in London, in the UK. And for 4.5 years now, I'm living in Madrid, in Spain. So my background, I've actually started my career working for a very traditional recruitment business where my team and I were supplying freelancers, tech freelancers, to very large companies. So that's how I got into this world of recruitment. It was not remote at all. It was fully on-site job, wearing a suit and a tie, really old school. But I learned a lot along the way during this 9 years in that company. And in February 2020, I quit my job because I just wanted to do something different, and I really wanted to start my own company, which I did in March 2020. So during lockdown of COVID, I got introduced to someone called Juan, who is Belgian. And so we met online on Zoom. And after a couple of calls, we had a really similar vision of what the future of work, should look like. And we both just quit our jobs, and we thought, why not starting a company together? Middle of the pandemic, we didn't know each other, we didn't meet each other, but still we decided to go together. And we still work together, we're still partners. And now Jobgether is a 20 people company, fully remote, as you just said. We have people in India, we have people in Madagascar, in Spain, in Portugal, in Belgium, in Colombia, in Venezuela, so really everywhere. And what we are a global remote talent platform where, thanks to an AI matching tool that we developed internally, we are helping talent from anywhere in the world to find remote jobs. And thanks to AI, we actually help them identify where they have the strongest chance to be called for an interview and ultimately to be hired.
That's great. So, Alex, what motivated you to leave a secure, well-paying job to start Jobgether during a time of global uncertainty?
What we both shared with Juan was, basically what we both experienced, and also what we were seeing around us, our friends and family, which was a lot of people. When you talk to people around you, the majority of people tell you that they're not really happy in their job for different reasons. Sometimes because of the managers, sometimes because of the actual company, sometimes because of the values of the company, sometimes because of the salary. You have a lot of reasons, but the majority of people are not really happy at the job. And they struggle to find something else. The job market is really complex. And since really COVID, with the rise of remote work, he has become global, which is a really good thing. But I also believe that he has become even more complex because now companies can hire people from a lot more different countries, raise more competition when it comes to get a job. And because people now want more flexibility, they want more remote work, they have more competition when it comes to find a job. So we thought, let's try to build a platform to actually help people. Have you ever been taught how to look for a job? Probably not. At school, they don't teach you how to look for a job. Your parents can help you, but our parents back in the days, they were usually having the same job for 30 years, 35 years. My parents had the same job for 35 years. Today, people change jobs every 2, 3, 4 years, but we don't know how to look for a job. So we were like, can we just build a platform helping people first identifying where they can get a job, for which company they can get a job, and then let's help the talent being more visible for the companies. Because today, if Uzma, you tomorrow, you are looking for a job, just for the example, and you want to apply somewhere, you will be one CV out of 500 or one CV out of 1,000 CVs. If you are the best person for the role, the company doesn't see that. The company will just see one more CV, which makes your mission to find a job really difficult. So this is the idea behind Jobgether, and this is what we are building today.
You are saying right, like many people, they are just get stuck. They don't know how to find the remote job, and Jobgether is a great platform where you can find remote and hybrid both according to your flexibility. So Alex, how has the demand for flexibility, like in terms of location, hour, and contract, evolved since you started Jobgether?
So the demand for flexibility is growing every day. Is growing. I always say I don't think COVID actually changed things, but I think COVID accelerated this change. You know, without COVID, maybe this rise of flexible and remote work would have happened maybe in 20 years or in 30 years. With COVID, it just accelerated it. And for many years, and I always take my example, for 10 years, I was doing an hour and a half on the tube every day to go to work. I had to wear a suit and a tie, and I had to be in the office by 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. just to make phone calls. And I never thought it was stupid to be in an office to make phone calls where I could have made this phone call from my home. But that's what everyone was doing. Everyone was going to an office. That's how it was. COVID made us realize that another way of working is possible. And of course, if you work in an hotel, in a restaurant, of course, you have to be on site, of course. But for many roles, and I'm talking about white collar positions, you know, sales, tech, marketing, finance, product, etc. The job, what do you need to work? You need a laptop and you need internet. Today, everyone has a laptop at home, and everyone, or almost everyone now, is getting internet at home, okay, or at least in a co-working. So people realize a different way of working is possible, and now they're like, why do I have to come back to an office 5 days a week where I can do the same job from home or from wherever I want? Could be a cafe, could be a co-working, could be your parents' place, whatever. I can do the same work, but I'm not going to waste 2 hours per day commuting. I will have time to take my kids to school. I can go to the gym at lunchtime. I can cook food, and I don't have to just go to like a bad place to eat like a sandwich. So people are demanding more flexibility. I'm not saying everyone wants full remote work, because I don't think it's for everyone, but people want flexibility. And companies, yes, we saw the trend after, like from 2022, that companies try to get people back to the office. I think there are many reasons to that, and I can come back to that later. But people are like, I don't want to come back. I've actually moved house. I'm not living close to the office anymore. I'm like in a different city. And now we end a bit in this, in a way, conflict between companies wanted people to be in the office and people like you and me, just wanted flexibility. I think candidates have the power because companies need to hire. If the candidates don't want to go back to the office, the companies will have to be more flexible. It will take time because remote work doesn't affect just the way we work. It actually affects the way we live. So it will take time, but we are really going towards a much more flexible work, like, the way we work. And I think it's an amazing thing because we're going to have more time to spend with our kids, with our wives or husbands, with our family. Some people have to take care of their parents. So remote work is really allowing that. And the next point is, and for me, another benefit of remote work is, for many, many years, if you wanted to have a good career, if you wanted to have a good salary, you had to move to the big cities, to San Francisco, to Paris, to New York, to this big city. Today, you can live in the countryside if you want to, and have access to these roles in these big firms. So I really think remote work will allow a better distribution of wealth across the world. And I think it's a really good news.
Yeah, and you are saying right that especially the females, those who have to manage their kids along with their homes, it's a blessing to do the remote job. Like I quit my physical job 4 years ago, and I'm doing remote work by sitting here in mountains. This is a hilly area, and I just need a laptop and internet connectivity, and I can do the work wherever I want. So, do you think that this concept of 9 to 5 job will obsolete in the next decade? If so, what will replace it?
I mean, who decided that 9 to 5 was the best time to work? Probably men back in the days, probably white men, from big universities thought the best time to work is 9 to 5. Some people love to work really early. Not my case. I'm not a morning person. However, I like to work at night. When I put my daughter to bed around 9 o'clock, I like to work after between 9 to 10 or 9 to 11. That's the time that I'm productive. And 9 to 5, for example, I need to leave my daughter at school by 9 o'clock. So I can't start at 9. However, I'm starting at 9:15 or 9:20. And that's fine. Does it really change? Because then if I don't have my work finished, I know I have the flexibility to maybe take less lunchtime or to work at night. And what's important, that the job is done or that you are in the office by 9 a.m. For many years, being in the office at 9 a.m. was something important. Managers for many, many years love to just micromanage you. They love to see you actually sitting in an office. And that was probably a way to feel empowered. I'm the boss and I have my people around me working. Of course, when it comes to remote work, you don't see what time people start. You don't see if people are sitting. You don't see that. Does it mean they're not going to do the job? It's up to you to check that. But remote work has shown that the productivity is not going down, and actually is going up. People get more work done, usually in less hours, because when you're in the office, and you've been in the office yourself too, you have people around talking to you, so you actually lose a lot of time. Working from home really allows people to decide what's best for them. And at Jobgether, we really believe remote work is built under 3 pillars. You have the where, the when, and the how. So the where, where is the best place for you to work? Is it in the city center of New Delhi, in a crowded office with 200 people around you on the phone making noise? Maybe yes, fine, go to the office. But maybe it's not. As you say, you want to be, in the countryside, in your house, quiet. If it's the best for you, that's perfect, because that's where the job will be better done. And we should let you decide, and you know what's best for you. Maybe the best for you is to work from a co-working or from a cafe or from whatever. But the way you decide, and you are the best person to know. And the 9 to 5 is basically forcing everyone into the same mold. You are yourself, Usma. Your best friend is different, and maybe she has a different way of working. Maybe she loves the office, and that's fine. We have to respect that. So that's the where. Then you have the when. Maybe you love to wake up at 5 in the morning and work for 2 hours, and that's fine. If it's what makes you productive, and if it's what makes you get the job done, that's amazing. Why forcing you to start at 9 while maybe you want to work from 5 to 7? Or maybe, like me, I love to work between 9 and 11. Don't make me finish at 5, because I'm going to be better, at night. So the when is also important, and it's a really big pillar of remote work, is let people decide. Maybe, in my case, sometimes I go to the gym at lunchtime. So I might take an hour and a half break. But maybe the next day I will not go to the gym, and I will just take 20 minutes break, because that's what's working for me. And then the last part is the how. Okay, how do you want to work? So do you want to work as a freelancer? Because maybe you don't want to work with just one company. Maybe you want to have 3 clients. And whatever you do, let's say you work in marketing, you want to do marketing jobs for 3 different clients. So you want to work as a freelancer to have the chance to have different clients. If companies say, look, with us, it's a permanent employee or nothing, you are missing out on people. And that's why for us, we really believe remote work is built under these 3 pillars. And there are a lot of studies showing that, as I was saying before, we don't lose productivity. It actually increases. People are more happy. People have a sense of having a much better work-life balance. People are saying they are happier because they see the kids. For me, when I was working like 8 to 8 in the office, thank God I didn't have my daughter at the time. Otherwise, if you leave at 8 in the morning and you come back at 8, you don't see your kids growing up. And once your kids leave home around 18 or 20 years old, that's too late. You're not going to get this time back. So for me, remote work, especially for my daughter, it's really important, because I take her to school. I see her when I pick her up from school between 6 and 8. I'm with her, I'm playing with her, we do the homework together. And that's the time that I can't get back. So I think the new norm will be no fixed hours anymore. And we are really seeing that changing already. 9 to 5 for me cannot, happen. And again, we are talking about white collars. Cannot happen anymore. Let people decide what is best for them, because what's best for them will make them more productive.
Yeah, that's great. And that I usually work when my 3 daughters, they are so small, and when they are sleeping, then I got the time to work. And or when they are at school, I got the time to work. So remote work gives you a great flexibility of selecting your own hours. So in your experience, how do these flexible work environments affect employees' productivity and well-being?
So I really think, again, based on what I was saying, is when it comes to well-being, when you are deciding what is best for you, automatically your well-being, will increase. I think that's automatic. You just mentioned your daughters, when they sleep, you can work. When they are at school, you can work. But maybe tomorrow, one of your daughter will have a cold and she will be a bit sick, and you want to be there for her. So maybe, tomorrow is Saturday, but let's say Monday, maybe you will, in a way, work less because you want to be with her. And then she will get better and she will go back to school. And the next day, maybe you will work much more to compensate from the day that you didn't work that much. And if you were forced to go to an office from 9 to 5, if your daughter is sick, what do? Either you are lucky and you have your parents close and they can look after them, or you have your husband, or you have some family they can look after them. But do you really want to leave your ill daughter with someone else where it's much better if you are here with her? So ultimately your well-being is improved. So that's what I really think, that remote work is improving, well-being in general. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you see this rise of AI automation? Do you think that is impacting the future of remote work?
I mean, AI is a big word, and it's a big world too. AI, so we hear a lot from newspapers and our press articles, AI will kill jobs. I don't see it that way. I think AI already, and of course people, when we talk about AI, we usually think about ChatGPT, for example, but AI is already present in a lot of our lives, even if we don't really see it. I really believe that AI is not affecting just remote work, will be affecting work for people who don't want to learn AI, and for people who don't want to accept that AI should be in our lives. Whether you like it or not, whether you are scared of it or not, AI is already in our lives. And I think it's only the beginning, and it will be much bigger tomorrow. Then of course they're going to have a thing to decide about whether AI should be limited or regulated, and I think, but that's a completely different topic. When it comes to AI, I think the people who will lose their jobs because of AI are the people who don't want AI. For example, for me, and again, I'm not an expert in AI, but I'm already using AI as much as I can in my job to just save me time. For example, the other day I had an Excel document with 5,000 different lines, and I wanted to separate this document into 5 different Excel documents. Instead of trying myself and copy and paste and do that, I just went to ChatGPT. I just asked what I wanted. ChatGPT gave me a script, copy and paste into Excel, and the script in 1 second divided my document into 5 pages. A task that could have been maybe 30 minutes or maybe an hour, because I didn't know how to do it, has been a 2-minute task. So I think AI needs to be accepted and needs to be implemented from everyone. Otherwise, yes, your job might be in trouble. That's what I think. But again, it's not just for remote work. However, so I'm just talking about maybe like a negative, but positive. For example, at Jobgether, we are helping talent to find a remote work. We are now using AI to help them better. For example, a few months ago, our website was really like a listing of 200,000 remote jobs. Okay. If you were coming to Jobgether a few months ago and you were typing, okay, I live in Pakistan, I want to work as a Java developer, for example, we would be showing you 500 positions of Java developers available remotely from Pakistan. What do you do with 500 positions? Either you apply without even looking at it, which is not what you should do, or you just spend a lot of time going one by one, but you physically can't go through 500 positions, especially because every week we would probably give you another 50 new ones or another 100 new ones. Today with AI, what we're doing is, instead of showing you 500 positions, first we are asking you who you are. Okay, my name is X. I work as a Java developer for 12 years. You put your CV, your LinkedIn profile. You tell us where you live, you tell us what you want, your salary, etc. And based on your profile, we are telling you, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, here are the 3 roles or the 5 roles or the 10 roles where you should apply because your profile is a really good match with these positions. So we want to avoid people to apply like crazy, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people apply more than 20 times per week, which is a lot. So we want to push people to apply less, but to apply better and to apply where they have a highest chance to be seen, to be interviewed, and of course to be hired. So AI also can be really beneficial, especially when you are, confronted to something with a big volume. When we talk about remote work, there is a lot of volume, a lot of candidates, and a lot of job postings. So AI help us match and help us deal with so much volume.
Yeah, that's a great feature on Jobgether website, My Matches. When you make your profile, then that option matches your profile with the job listings, and you and recommend you where you should apply. So that's a great feature. So how do you think that this shift to remote work will affect the global job markets, especially in developing countries?
I think it's an excellent news. I really think so. Emerging countries, for many, many, many years, didn't have access to the best jobs, which was a shame. And people in emerging countries, if they wanted to have a good career with a good salary and a good job, they had to move to the US, to Europe, to countries where you had the headquarters of these good companies, which was a shame, and which was really, even like creating this gap in terms of wealth between these rich countries, if you want, and these emerging countries. And that's how it was. You wanted a good job. You had, for example, myself, I went to London, and then I moved like 1.5 years in Paris, and I, for the last 15 years, and now I live in Madrid. For the last 15 years, I lived in capitals only. I'm a guy from the countryside, and I would love. So now I stay in Madrid because of my daughter, and she's going to school, etc. But I would love to live in the countryside, really far away. And actually, with my girlfriend, we have the project to actually really go in the countryside, somewhere remote. With remote work, we can do that completely. You said it yourself. You don't live in a big city, And I think that's an amazing news, because first, people from, I'm talking about the US, we saw already in the US, if you wanted a good job in tech, you had to be in a Silicon Valley with crazy prices, with, of course, good salaries, but, the life there was insane. Now people moved away from the Valley and are living still in the US, but in more remote locations, where they can, instead of having a small apartment, they can now have a bigger house, a better life. They can have a garden, maybe a swimming pool. They have a better life. Okay. So we are seeing this trend in like developed countries. But when you talk about emerging countries, I'm seeing, for example, lately I've been looking a lot into Africa. The African market already today is the youngest continent in the world. 50% of African people are under 25 years old. Okay, and there are a lot of schools. There are a lot of people, learning development, learning a lot of these jobs. They don't have to move away anymore. They can be working for a German company remotely from Kenya, for example, which is amazing. And they don't even have to be in the capital of Kenya. They can be in the countryside, in their village. As soon as they have internet and a laptop, they can do the job. And in emerging countries, you have a lot of places where in a small village, no one had, I would say, a job with like really good salary. And the impact of 1 or 2 people in one small village with a good salary could have an amazing impact into the whole village, because that person can then reinvest into the village, can help the people in the village. And these small villages with really small money or budget, with remote work, with some people working remotely, can really start a change in the village. And then the other people will see, oh, but these guys, they are working remotely from companies like in Europe or in the US. I will do the same. And it's possible, and it's possible. So people will have a much better life. And I think that's amazing. This better distribution of wealth across the world. And I really hope that with remote work, the gaps between the developed countries and the emerging countries will then be reduced because of remote work.
Yeah, you are saying right. I am living here in a rural area, and here 99% people, they are doing physical job and they don't have any idea about the remote work. So you are saying right that they will get inspiration. For example, when I have started work now, they are watching my videos, and when I'm promoting this work now, they have got the idea. Yes, we can also do uh, uh, remote work, and we can also interact with other people all around the world. Like they have very fixed mindset that they can only do these physical jobs. So remote work is giving you a great exposure as well. What do you think that what are the biggest challenges that companies are facing to move to shift to this flexible work model?
There are quite a few, actually. As I was saying before, I think remote work doesn't affect just the way we work, but the way we live. For many, many, many years, managers, directors of companies, they were used to have the people in front of them. So, and I think as I was saying before, that just make them feel powerful to watch the people. So first, one of the big challenge is managers need to trust their employees. And I think remote work really shown that a lot of managers didn't trust their employees because they don't believe in remote work. And I think the first key thing of remote work is trust. If you don't trust your people, you will not like remote work because you have to trust them. You don't see them. You don't know what time they wake up. You don't know what time they start working. You don't know what time they actually take a break. You don't know that. Okay. So trust has to be really strong in the company. And then you need to train your people, okay? And you need to make them accountable, okay? Because you just trust them, and okay, fine, you're just on your own. You work. I don't see you, but I want you to be accountable because you need to get the job delivered. So that requires training, okay? But good training, okay? Then you have to have a really good communication. Communication is really important when it comes to remote work, okay? It's usually asynchronous because, for example, at Jobgether, we have people in South America, we have people in India. In terms of time zone, we are really different. And sometimes I will write, for example, this morning I wrote to my colleague in Venezuela. For me, it was 10 a.m. For him, it was probably, 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. So you need to implement asynchronous communication, written communication. Okay, that's really important that everything is written, okay, and everything is documented. If you are implementing a new process, don't just tell someone about it. Write the role process, put in the share folder, and then share to everyone because everyone needs access to it. If you just tell someone, it's not like you are in the office and you will just take your team, tell them, and no, you need to document. Okay, that's really important. You also need to meet. And I think a lot of people against remote work say, yeah, but remote work, we never meet. No, remote work doesn't mean you never meet your colleagues. At Jobgether, we meet twice a year. So that's something that you also need to think. That means it's a cost, okay? You need a budget to actually meet because you need to pay the train or the flight of people and then the hotel. But you need to make sure you meet. Okay. You need to make sure you look after your employees, even more than when they are on site. Because when you're on site, and I was a manager myself on site for many years, if someone one morning looks sad or looks tired or looks worried, it's easier to spot. You can see that person. Today, that person is not smiling. Today, that person, you can see. So you can come to the person saying, hey, what's wrong? Do you want to talk? So when it comes to remote, you will not see that. You will not see that person looks sad or tired or whatever. So you really need to be close to your people to create like a trust environment, because people needs to be, need to trust you enough to talk to you about whatever happened. Because if someone is sad because whatever happened in the family, whatever, maybe what you need to do is just spend time. Maybe the person just needs to talk, or maybe that person just needs a day off to just sort out what they have to do. So it's really important that you create this culture of trust, okay, with the people, because if someone is worried or sad or whatever, and you don't spot it, after a while that person might break down or might just quit, and you will not even see it coming. And maybe the last point is to create like a strong culture. First, you need to make sure you hire the person for the right reasons, not just because you offer remote work. And I believe that a lot of people say, I want remote work, but they're not really ready to work remotely. Work remotely, you need to be accountable, you need to be really well organized, you need to be a hard worker, and you need to be someone you trust, okay? So you need to spot that when you do the interviews. You need to understand why that person wants to work remotely, and if that person has the right skills, especially soft skills, to be a good remote worker. Because otherwise that will just not work. And to implement remote work is not easy. And I believe that the combination of what I said, will make it successful. Okay. But you don't manage someone remotely the same way you manage someone on site.
Yeah, exactly. When remote work is only not a remote job, it's a lifestyle that you have to adopt, and it's not only about the technical, skills. Soft skills also matter, especially in remote job, as you said earlier, that communication that has more value than the technical skills. So our time has over. So my last question from you is that, not a question, like advice. What advice would you give to someone currently in a traditional job and who is considering making the switch to remote or flexible work?
Do it. I would say do it. No, a couple of things I can say about it. I think if you want to switch from like a traditional on-site role to a remote role, you need to prepare it. Okay, don't quit your job tomorrow and then start looking. Okay, first you need to follow a few steps. First of all, you need to first identify what you want to do next. Maybe today you are doing X, and maybe you don't want to do the same job. So maybe identify and make sure what you want. Based on that, do some research. Okay, on Jobgether, create a profile on Jobgether. You can automatically see what roles could be available for you, if there are lots or if there are just zero roles. There are roles, for example, really rare, and maybe from your country, okay, there are maybe not many remote roles available. On Jobgether, we have almost the whole majority of the remote roles available, okay? And then based on that, you need to prepare it, because using Jobgether and sending your CV to a company is one step, but it's not enough, okay? I always say LinkedIn should be a tool you should use when you are looking for a job, okay? LinkedIn is, for me, a better version of a CV, because it's your CV, but it's more, it's connections, it's comments that you do, it's publication that you can make, it's article that you can write. So make sure you have a really strong LinkedIn profile with a good picture, with a good title, with the section about really about yourself, who you are, what you want, what is your, what is your passion, what has been your life so far. Your expenses, make sure they are well written with numbers, with achievements, references. Ask your colleagues, ask your ex-colleague, your ex-bosses to just write you some references. And of course, on Jobgether, then you can apply to jobs, and you should apply to jobs. That's mandatory. But on the side, connect to people from companies that you would like to work. For example, let's say you want to work in the big tech companies like Facebook or Airbnb, these big ones. Connect on LinkedIn to people working there already. People that can be your colleagues. If you are a JavaScript developer, connect with other JavaScript developers, because then you can ask them a question. Oh, how is life at Facebook? Is it good? Is it, how is the culture? Do you have a lot of people from my country? You will have insight. Maybe you will realize, maybe that's not for me. I thought it was good, but no, actually it's not good. Or maybe you will love it even more. And if you are talking to a few people that can be your colleagues, and maybe they will tell them, oh, by the way, we are looking for one more person in the team. Oh, do you mind sending my CV to your manager? So you would apply, of course, but at the same time, your CV will go to the hiring managers. And that will, like shortcut your application, and that will increase your chances to be hired. Okay. And again, do some research about your job. Whatever you do, you probably lack some skills, because all the jobs are evolving really quickly now. So make sure you have the right skills. How do you do? Talk to people, who do the same job as you. Okay. Ask them, what are you working on today? What do you think the manager will ask tomorrow? What is the last version of the language that you are, developing is? And also, by applying to jobs, you will see the job descriptions. What do companies want? Or lately, companies are asking for ChatGPT skills. I've never used it. Okay, I'm going to use it. I need to know ChatGPT skills, and add it on your CV. So looking for a job is a job. Okay, it takes time, and sending your CV and waiting will not work. Okay, you need to have a strong CV and a strong LinkedIn profile. You need to grow your network. You need to apply to jobs, of course, and you need to follow up. Applying is one step. Contacting potentially your future manager is the second step. Following up is the third step, and it takes time. Okay, it takes time, and you have a lot of competition. And the last thing I would say and advise that I see a lot of people don't do, if you are living in Spain, for example, don't apply to jobs where they say, we want someone remote from Germany or remote from the US or whatever. Apply, what I was saying before, apply less, but apply better. Okay. So you really need to apply to roles, remote roles available from the country that you're in. If you are based in Spain and you apply for a role available remotely from the US, they will not even check your CV, because they probably have already 500 people already living in the US who apply for the role. Okay, so companies, when it comes to remote, don't pay for relocation, almost never. And I know sometimes you would love to work for that company, and you are mad because they only want to hire people remote from the US, for example, and you don't live in the US. But that's how it is. Don't waste your time. Apply to roles available from your country. That's really important.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex, for giving such a great tips. It's very important to first prepare yourself for the remote job, instead of just going to the platform and applying for, just randomly applying for the jobs. It would not work. I really like on Jobgather that there is a blog section where you are not only just providing that platform to apply for jobs, but you are also training and teaching the people like you are giving tips about how you can do remote jobs, interview tips, and how you can prepare yourself. That those blogs are amazing. So thank you so much for giving your time. I hope my audience they all have learned a lot from you. So thank you so much.
Don't worry. That was really nice to share my experience with you, Osma. Thank you very much for inviting me. And if people want to follow me on LinkedIn, just click the follow button. I'm actually sharing tips about hiring, remote work. So I hope I can help you through LinkedIn as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please, all of you go and follow Alex. There is a very, informative tips daily Alex is sharing on his LinkedIn profile. To follow him and do go to Jobgether. And I have also made a video, review video of Jobgether in both languages, in Urdu and English. So you can also go to my Facebook and LinkedIn profile and just study about that platform. So I hope you have liked that podcast and learned a lot from Alex. So thank you so much. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, Osma. Bye bye.